I've gone over this moment in my mind 100 times, each time with a new layer of meaning, a different breath, a shift in the light, or in the way his eyes found mine. Sometimes I wonder if I should have just let it pass, swallowed it down like a forgotten dream.
But some things stay.
They don't let you forget. Some moments etch themselves into the architecture of your being. That morning had started like so many others. I woke early, drawn by some quiet tension I couldn't explain. The house was still, cloaked in a hush that only exists just before sunrise. I padded barefoot across the hardwood floor, the wood cool beneath my skin, and made my way to the kitchen. The scent of fresh coffee drifted up as the machine gurgled softly. I poured a mug, wrapped both hands around the ceramic warmth, and stepped out onto the porch. The sky had only begun to lighten. A pale blush edged the horizon, and a breeze played with the hem of my robe, slipping against my bare legs, weaving coolness into the comfort of morning. I breathed in deeply, the kind of breath that fills your lungs and your mind all at once, the kind that makes you feel both alive and incredibly still. Steam curled from the coffee as I brought it to my lips. It tasted earthy, rich, grounding. I let my eyes close, not to sleep, just to absorb the moment. Then the doorbell rang. It wasn't jarring. It didn't shatter the stillness, but rather sent ripples through it, like a stone dropped in a glass-smooth lake. I turned, walked back inside. The sound had been so unexpected it felt almost surreal, as if the world had shifted slightly. When I opened the door, there he was, halfway down the porch steps, like he hadn't meant to be caught. His name was Daniel. He was tall, a little unkempt in that uniform that never quite fit him right. It hung on him like it belonged to someone else, someone older, more settled. His short brown hair was tousled, like he'd run his hands through it more than once that morning. In his hands, he held a brown box. Nothing remarkable, but the way he clutched it made it seem like more than just a delivery. Our eyes met, just for a second. Uncertain. Searching. Then his gaze dropped, unsure. I leaned into the doorframe, one hand on the warm, ceramic mug. "That for me?" I asked, nodding at the box. He stepped forward, slow like someone approaching a ledge. "Yeah," he said after a pause. "It's urgent." I reached out to take the box. I let my fingers brush his, longer than necessary. He didn't pull away. He didn't step back. He just stood there, unreadable. Behind me, the door stayed open. I hadn't even thought to close it. He noticed. His eyes flicked up again, surprised by the detail. Still, he said nothing. "You look like that delivery surprised you," I said, voice low and playful, a half-smile tugging at the corner of my mouth. I turned and walked back into the house, not hurried, not hesitant. The floor creaked gently underfoot, familiar grounding. I didn't close the door. I just walked in, box in one hand, coffee in the other. And then, I waited. There was a pause, like the air held its breath, then the soft sound of the door easing shut behind him. A quiet click. Not loud, not abrupt. Just final. I set the box down on the entry table and turned just slightly, enough to see him standing there, uncertain, suspended between choices. His eyes met mine, and I could see the questions behind them, unspoken and heavy. "You can rest it by the frame," I said gently, motioning to the table, still pretending this was just about a package. He nodded, small, careful. He stepped forward and placed the box where I had just been. His movements were slow, deliberate, the kind that came from someone trying not to disturb something sacred. I stepped aside, wordlessly inviting him closer. He hesitated, but then took a step. Then another. His footsteps were soft. Not like a stranger, but like someone afraid to want too much. When he stopped in front of me, I could see the tension in his shoulders. His fingers twitched slightly at his sides, caught between impulse and restraint. So I reached for him first. Our hands met, warmth against warmth. His breath caught the moment our skin touched. I turned my palm under his gently. "It's okay," I whispered. "You don't need to be nervous." He didn't speak, just let his fingers wrap lightly around mine. He didn't squeeze, didn't claim, he just held. A quiet, present kind of holding. I let it happen. Let the stillness bloom between us. The kind of stillness that demands attention, that leaves no room for lies. I turned to face him more fully. Our eyes met again. Still unsure. Still searching. I placed my hand beside his again, not saying anything. And then, something shifted in him. His shoulders dropped slightly. His chest rose with a steady breath. He stepped closer. Still not touching, but nearer. His shoulder hovered next to mine. His lips parted like he was about to speak, but nothing came out. That's when I felt it, that edge of a decision. That suspended moment before the fall. The silk of my robe slipped slightly with the hallway breeze. His eyes caught the movement. Flicked to it. Then away. Respectful. Restrained. But I nodded. Small, certain. His hand rose. Brushed my arm. Slow. Tentative. Like he was touching something he never thought he could. I inhaled, let the breath catch in my chest, and released it slowly. The robe slid further down my shoulder. He didn't flinch. His hand rested lightly at my side. Present. Intentional. I looked up at him. "You're here now," I whispered. He nodded. Eyes never leaving mine. I took his hand and placed it where it felt right. Let mine rest over his. Then I leaned in. Our lips met.
Soft.
Unhurried. There was no urgency. Just a shared understanding that something long held back was finally allowed to be. The faint trace of coffee lingered between us. His hands moved to my sides, not gripping, just there. Holding space. As we pulled apart, I felt it.
The shift.
The soft gravity between us, undeniable and real. I stepped back slightly, the edge of the hallway table pressing into my back. My palms landed on it behind me. Daniel followed, slower now. More steady. His hands traveled up my arms. The fabric whispered under his touch. He kissed me again. Even softer. Like he was memorizing me with his mouth. My hand found his back. He stayed still. There were no words. No pressure. Just presence. I wrapped my arms around his neck. He leaned into me, solid, grounded. The table creaked faintly as I shifted into him. There was no rush. No map to follow. No need to name what we were doing. Just this moment. This breath. This quiet truth blooming between us. And I stayed still.